Okay, it's June the 15th. It's about midnight. And it'll be June the 16th in a few minutes. I'm filming the moon in a different position than last night. It's about 45 degrees off to where it was last night at this hour. And it's off to the west, 45 degrees. And it's highly unusual for any celestial body in motion to change its orbital path by 45 degrees in one day. And that's the reason I'm out here to see what's going on. Now there are clouds behind the moon, which is evident, so I assume it's not the moon, since that's impossible for there to be clouds behind it. So I'm just going to leave it here for a few minutes while it's there. There's a very fast moving body. I hope it gets on film just above it. It's flashing. I don't think it's a plane. It's moving way too fast across the sky. Anyway, I don't know what that is, and I don't want to look for it now. I want to get the clouds behind the moon. So I find this highly unusual that it is so many degrees off course in just one day, and this makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm just gonna let that cloud cover travel behind the moon for as long as there are clouds, because I want to prove once and for all that this is a holographic image of the moon, and if it's some sort of ship, it's very large, it's huge, and obviously it's in our atmosphere since it's below the clouds. So it appears to be very low. It's over the same building that I was filming it over last night, but now it's on the other corner and 45 degrees over, maybe more, to the west. I was filming it on the southeast corner, and it wasn't even on the corner last night. It was off the building, even more southeast than the building, but now it's all the way to the west side and maybe slightly southward, but it's like way over, at least 45 degrees, I would say, maybe more than that. It's on the opposite side of the building, same building, but like an opposite side, and this is a very large building, so that means that this thing has traveled and changed its orbit by 45 degrees. And that's anyway, I think that's impossible, because I've always learned that that sort of thing is impossible, since any body in orbit, celestial body in orbit, has to maintain the orbit and cannot change that much in just a day. And it has to follow a much more concise and precise orbit than that. It can't jump around 45 degrees in one day. So being that that's said, and just watch the clouds behind the moon. All of them are behind the moon. So I'm at no zoom. So this is not going to be any camera problem or anything else. This is just no zoom, straight out shooting it without any kind of zoom. So the camera should take the best and the clearest shots right now. And you can see how close it is. I have no zoom on, and it's very large. So obviously it's not that high up, and there's a lot of clouds right behind it, just passing right behind it, one after the other. The entire cloud cover is passing behind it. So it's way below the clouds. The things moving on the screen, the little things moving on the screen, that's all these microparticles that are in the air. The atmosphere, the air, everything is full of them. So I'm just gonna show where this building is. I don't know if it shows on the camera. Okay, there's the building, and there's where it is. That's the other corner. I was shooting it over here yesterday on that corner. Okay, and it was not even on the corner. It was a few degrees off the corner, maybe 5 degrees to the left of the corner. So you can check the video from last night. It was around the same time, and it's right off of that corner, even more to the left, and it was about the same height or altitude last night, but it was there, and now I have to do this and turn all the way around to here, and it's on this corner of the building. And that's in one night. Now that's about 45 degrees for sure that it's moved. So I'm just gonna go here and catch those clouds passing right behind it with the building in the front and all. And you can see that it's powering up when it flares up like that. That's not the camera. That's that thing powering up. I can see that with my eyes. It doesn't just happen on the camera. So that's an object. It's some sort of ship. If it's a satellite, it's not a natural one. It's not a natural satellite. And the thing can change its direction. Yesterday or last night it was moving east and west and north and south all over the place. And I couldn't even figure out which way it was going to go to set up the camera. So I'm sure it's going to do the same when I zoom in close to it, but I just wanted to show for a long time that all the clouds are passing above the moon and behind the moon. It's not one cloud, it's all of them. So the thing is very low. It's below the cloud cover, and it's a ship. It's just a hologram of the moon, but it's a ship. It's projecting an image to make itself look like the moon, and it's low. Every cloud so far has passed above it and behind it. And look at the way it's flaring up. I'm not even touching the camera. I'm not touching any control or anything. It's doing that, and I can see it flare up with my naked eyes. So I've been filming now for about 10 minutes. Every cloud has passed behind the moon. It's not just one cloud. It's been lots of clouds. The entire cloud cover is above it and behind it. So I have to conclude that that's not the moon, and the image that I see is a holographic representation of the moon, regardless of what it is, whether it's a pure hologram, three-dimensional hologram, or whether it's some sort of ship and moving about in the sky. It's irrelevant. It's not the moon. That's the point. In the past, I have filmed both a hologram, that's a pure hologram, three-dimensional hologram, and also a ship that I called a moon ship, and that's on my channel. There is a ship that looks just like the moon used to, and it does move around, and I've caught it in front of clouds and clouds moving behind it, and I've caught it without any cloud cover whatsoever, just the ship alone, and I've caught it up close where you can see all these millions of orbs following a pattern that looks like a grid or a microchip, either that or it looks like a transistor board, and all these orbs just following all the paths by the zillion real fast all along the tracks, and it looks like one giant microchip, the whole thing. And I've put that on my channel. So this is just another example of the object being low, and that there are clouds behind the object higher up. You can't get a clearer picture than this, that the clouds are behind the moon, and that's not the moon. That looks like the moon, but it's not the moon. Whatever it is, it's not the moon. The moon is gone. So the entire cloud cover has passed so far behind that moon. Every single cloud that came along, and that whole cloud cover has just passed right behind it. I haven't seen any going front. I have a clear view of it, so I'm not going to go on forever showing that there are clouds behind the moon, because that could happen all night. What I wanted to do is go up close and check it out, see what I can see tonight, because last night I got a lot of ships flying off of it and landing on it really at a fast pace. So you have to look for them carefully on the video, but there was a whole bunch that would just flash by. They were black. Last night was the black ship's night. Sometimes they're not black, but last night they were all black. So whatever that thing is, it's acting like a battle station. Whether it's a holographic battle station or if it's a real object, it's a battle station, because all these other ships are going off of it and landing on it. So it's acting like a battle station, because I can't see any other reason for all those ships in our own atmosphere and below the cloud cover than to attack us. I see no other reason for so many spaceships and flying saucers than to attack us, because they're right above our head, and that thing is not the moon. So as you can see, all the clouds are right behind it, and it's been like that for the last 15 minutes. And if that's not proof that the thing is not our moon, then you need serious help, and you have to start questioning your own reality, because this should not be real, and this cannot be the moon. See how it powers up? Look at that. It's trying to hide the clouds that are behind it by shining brighter. That's the idea. And that's not a camera flare or lens flare. That's that thing doing it because it's doing it, and I can see it with my own eyes. It's very low. Just look at how much energy it's using to just hide the fact that there are clouds behind it. I have no zoom on, nothing. This is just normal shooting without anything. Just gonna change this so it's in the center. Okay, it's still over that building, but it's moving closer to the very corner. Okay, so it's not the camera position. I've just adjusted position, and it's still showing the glare, and that's that thing powering up because it's a ship. Look at that. Look at that. I can see that with my eyes. I don't need to be looking at a camera because camera is not on zoom. Just look at all the powering up it's doing. And I'm glad it's doing it because if I told anyone, they wouldn't believe me that this is happening. But this is what happens every day when that thing shows up. So far, for the last 20 minutes, every cloud that came by, the entire cloud cover, has been behind it and above it. So that thing is pretty low. Not that high up in the sky. And it's doing everything possible to obscure the clouds so that you can't see them. It's trying to blind the camera. And the air is full of these things that they're pouring into the atmosphere, and they're going to kill us one day. So anyone who ever doubted that there are clouds behind the moon, this video is going to be the ultimate proof that this thing is not the moon and there are clouds behind it all the time. And in fact, the thing is lower than the cloud cover. And it's powering up in order to cause glare on the camera, so that the camera would not show the clouds behind it. But this camera is not going to glare because I made sure I have a camera that doesn't do those things. There'll be no lens flare. There'll be no problems. This is an excellent camera and it takes excellent pictures. And what you see is the thing itself glowing more by increasing its energy, and that's where the glow comes in. I can see it with my eyes. It's not happening only on the camera. The thing is actually powering up and creating the greater glow or the brighter glow, so it appears bigger in order to hide the clouds that are above it and behind it. There is absolutely no zoom. There is nothing else. This is just plain camera. There is no trick photography, nothing like that. Everything is normal, except for that thing being right there in the sky and in the wrong place. It's at least 45 degrees off from where it was last night at exactly the same time. Now it's June the 16th, because right now it's after midnight.